Hi, Walter Gandit here, and I'm going to cover a topic that a lot of people might be resentful for what I'm going to say, but I'm going to speak my truth, and that is, are you a native or are you an alien? And I'm going to give you my definition of alien. Everybody thinks alien is somebody from another planet. Woo! I'm scared of, I'm scared of those people because I don't know them, right? They're different. Maybe they're going to abduct me or something. Who knows? But okay, I'm not talking about UFOs. I'm talking about humanity. Are you an alien to the place that you live? Your backyard, your community, where you live? Do you have a connection to the land there? That's my question. And I'm going to tell you a couple of stories about Native Americans. Well, one about a Native American and one about Africans, African Bushmen. And the story about the native peoples is, this was in the 1700s. 5 Iroquois were taken to England and educated. They were put through the university. England was allies with the Iroquois nation, so they thought they were doing them a big favor. They're educating 5 of the people to bring them back so that they can bring the teachings that they learned over in England to their native peoples. And they came back, and very shortly the chiefs and elders came to the Englishmen and they said, our men are ruined. They don't know anything. They don't know how to live. They can't feed themselves. They don't have any skills. They have no endurance. They can't run. They have no abilities to defend their people if we're attacked. They have absolutely no skills. They can't hunt. They don't know how to fish. They don't know any of these things. All they do is they tell us these words that they learned in school, and those words do not help feed us. They do not help protect our people. So we'll do you Englishmen a favor. Give us 5 of your men, and we'll raise them to be true warriors for your people, and they will be able to take care of themselves. They'll be able to track. They'll be able to hunt. They'll have all the skills to live in nature. Well, the English people didn't take up on that offer. I wish I was there because I would have loved to do it. Anyway, the second story is about the African Bushmen. They're short-statured people. The men are only about 5 foot, 5'2" maybe. The women are even shorter. Small, sinewy people. They lived in southern Africa. They have a reddish skin, actually. They don't even have a black skin like most of the rest of Africa. They're considered the oldest genetics that are in Africa. Anyways, an anthropologist went there and he's asking them all these questions. What's this plant? What do you use this for? What's this animal? And of course the Bushman is humoring him. Oh, everybody knows this. What are you talking about? Everybody knows this. This is for this and this. What kind of animal is this? Well, this is one, and you find it here and here, and we eat this time of year because this is when we're in that area. And the anthropologists are writing all this stuff down, and there's a naturalist there, and he's recording all the plants and stuff. And the Bushman is just flabbergasted. How can nobody know these things? Everybody knows these things because he was brought up with it. It's the way that he was taught. He was taught a life in close proximity to nature. Nature provided everything that he needed. There was no major grocery store, society, tool shed, any of those things. He had to take care of himself when he became an adult and feed his family. And this is how he was taught and raised. This is the things that are provided for you. The Iroquois were the same thing. These are the things that are provided for us. You have to have an understanding of them to be able to utilize what's offered to you. And then we have this society, and we have people that walk out in their backyard, and what kind of tree is that? Well, it's a green tree, and most people know, well, if it has needles, it's a pine tree. Or if it has leaves, it's a maple tree, at least in the United States. Those are the 2 trees that pretty much everybody know. I grew up when I was about 7 years old, and I knew pine trees and maple trees. Those were the 2 that I knew. And so the spruce trees and the hemlocks and the cedars, well, they had to be pine because they had needles, right? They're pine. I couldn't see the differences of the individual trees. And of course, all the trees with leaves, I could see that some were almond shaped and some were palmate with multiple leaves, and some had wide leaves and narrow leaves, but they had to be maple trees because that's the only tree that I knew. Nobody taught me any other trees. I knew that this one funny tree had these acorn things that laid on the ground, but that was some kind of funny maple tree. I didn't know what it was. And it wasn't until I was about 11 years old that I discovered hickories, because we went out and we gathered a whole bag of hickory nuts, and they were so delicious. All winter long we were cracking them. Then I got to know hickory because somebody told me that it was a hickory, and I remembered that because I love hickory nuts. Okay, so I was beginning to have a little bit of an immersion into nature. But most people don't even have that anymore. They have no connection to nature. They have connection to this, or the television, or whatever. They need to be entertained. They don't know how to entertain themselves anymore. And to go outside and sit in nature, boring, nothing to do. There's absolutely nothing to see out here. Oh, that's a robin. I saw one of those once before. I know robin. And what a native person is telling you is, I have a relationship with these things. I have a close relationship with these things because they're a part of my life. And so I'm going to ask each one of you, are you a native? And do you want to be a native? Or are you an alien on this planet? Because those are your two choices. If you're living in the city and you have absolutely no relationship with nature, except for going to the grocery store and, well, I got a piece of vegetable, so I must be connected to nature, right? Or I got a dead animal, so I'm connected to nature. That's not a connection. The connection is from here to here. You have a deep understanding of the land that surrounds you. You understand these insects eat on these plants. These birds eat on these insects. And the cycle goes on and on. Or you have no connection. And this is where humanity is heading. I would like to change that. That's why I'm doing this video. Get outside your door and start asking questions. There's books to look in. There's all kinds of things you can ask. Ask your grandpa. He may know these things. Your grandpa may have grown a garden and he can teach you to grow a garden. There's no better way to have a close connection to the land than have your food come from that land. And this is from a book that I read. My sister sent it up to me last year on my sailboat, and I read it. And the name of the book is Anastasia. It's from Russia. It's a story about a Russian recluse, a woman who lives out in the Siberia, in the taiga, out in the forest. And she has such incredible wisdom. I would encourage each of you to read that book. You can get it online. You can order it. It's in Hawaii somewhere. But if you Google Anastasia, I'm sure you can find out where to order the book if you would like to order the book, or you can read it online. What the book does is it opens your eyes. And what she said is her hope is that everybody will get a place, what she calls kin's domain. What is kin's domain? It's your own domain. It's a place where you settle, you grow much of your own food. Your family lives on this plot of land, 2.5 acres. And you take care of it, build a shrub hedge around the outside of it. You grow your fruit trees, you grow your nut trees, you can grow firewood, you can have a little forest in there, and you have your small house. You can have if you want to have a big mansion, it's going to take up a big portion of your 2.5 acres. But what you do is, it's your domain. This is your domain. You're not living in a little dinky apartment renting from somebody else. It's your domain. And you know what they've done in Russia? They've legalized it. Everybody in Russia can have a hectare of land, 2.5 acres, free from the government, and they own it forever. And that's what I'm suggesting we do in the United States as well, and the rest of the world. And things will change because people are connected to nature. And if you're connected close enough to nature, you're going to find God, because you're going to start looking within yourself and your connection to all things. And you say, well, my food is coming from here, and this is my domain. This is where I want to be buried. I don't want to be buried in some crummy cemetery. I want to be buried right here where my ancestors are buried, because it's a lineage that you pass down generation after generation. This is my hope, that will change the direction that humanity is heading in, because we're going the wrong way. And that's what I have to say. Thanks for watching.